I'm Tara Monster, and I like to make things. Today I'm going to show you how to take this oversized men's shirt and cut it into a fitted women's empire waist top, all without having to sew. Let's get crafting! For this tutorial, I will be working with a t-shirt that we used in one of my last videos, the front weave tutorial. But you can use any old regular men's shirt. I just want to make this one that we made a little bit more fitted since all we did was work with this top part here. So the best way to do that is you want to measure the shirt while it's on your body and know right where you want your empire waist to be. And then you'll just mark that with a piece of chalk. And so for me, I know that the empire waist is going to go right to here because it's right underneath where I stopped my weaving. So now that we have that marked, we're going to fold the shirt in half so that we can make the cuts for the weaving of the empire waist. And we are going to be cutting through both the front and the back of the shirt for this tutorial. So fold the shirt right in half, directly below where you made your chalk mark. Make sure you have it nice and flat. And we are going to cut in 1/2 inch from the top of your chalk mark line. And that will make the holes a total of 1 inch long. And to keep our cuts in line, we just put our ruler down. Again, just making sure that everything is very, very pressed flat. You're going to cut your marks 1/2 inch apart. My shirt's a little bit bumpier here because of the weave. Yours should be easier to cut because it will be all the way flat. And now we're going to open it up and you can see that we just have all these little cuts and they're exactly in the same spot on the back of the shirt as they are on the front of the shirt. And now, in order to bring this shirt in, we are going to do a weave. And in case you haven't seen my Weaving 101 video, I will put the link to it down below in the description. Be sure to stretch out your threads. Stretch them enough that they curl. And you're going to want to do this on both the front and the back. There's the front. And now the back. And now we're going to start the weaving. Grab your top piece and put your next one over it. If you'd like to see a beginner's tutorial on weaving, I will put my link down below in the description. So you're just going to weave this all the way across. This is a very tight weave because our cuts are so small and close together, but that is what really helps bring in the shirt. And it gives it a cool braided effect as well. If your shirt has a plastisol design printed on the outside of it, like mine does, you'll notice that it gets a little bit harder to braid and stretch through that part because plastisol inks do not stretch the same way that eco-friendly water-based inks stretch. A little plug for my own shirts there. They are all printed with eco-friendly water-based inks. But since I got these shirts from the thrift store, They're a lot older and printed with all kinds of things. And now we made it all the way to this end, and then we want to connect it to the back. So I am actually going to make a couple more cuts so that we can connect this. Stretching them out. I was just going to tie them off, but now I think it's better to have them be connected all the way across. And now I'll flip over to the back and just continue doing our weave all the way across. And now we've gotten all the way to the end. And again, I am just going to add a couple more cuts so that we can make this go all the way around to the other side. Just taking care to not actually cut through the armhole. That's another reason why I leave the sides for last. I'm just making sure that these are about the same length. And it looks like they are. I'm gonna go ahead and stretch them. And just continue my weave until it connects with the other side. There, we've gotten all the way back to the start. And now I'm going to cut the very last one in half and then tie it around the first rung of where we started. Actually, I noticed that this one's a little bit longer, so I'm going to cut this one and tie it to this one. It really doesn't matter which one you do. And voila, we have a chain weave all the way around the shirt. And you can already see just how much that's brought it in right across here to make it into an empire waist. Now we have this wonderfully fitted women's empire shirt, but we still have some sleeves that are pretty big. So I'm going to do a quick alter to these sleeves as well. To alter the sleeves, I'm going to fold it in half and match up the sleeves so that I'm making the same cuts. I'm also going to cut off the seams of both of the sleeves. And now I'm going to cut some slits so that we can weave the sleeves and make them smaller, just like we did here. For the sleeves, I'm going to cut about 1 inch apart and in 2 inches. Actually, you know what? I want to have really big weaves. I think it'll look cool. Let's do it 3 inches in. And making our cuts 1 inch apart. And now we just stretch these out until they curl. Make sure to stretch out both sleeves. And now we're just going to weave up the sleeve as well. And now we have our cuts on both sleeves. And I'm also just going to make cuts here, but I'm not going to cut down as far. They're about 2 inches in. And once again, 1 inch apart. And we're going to stretch them out. And now we're going to cut out the seam. Okay, all the seams are cut off. And I'm just going to stretch these. And then I'm just going to tie these all together in little square knots. And then once we get to the sleeve part, I'm going to weave them, and that's why. So the sleeve part does not have a seam. This seam was just on the shoulders, and that's why I'm doing them differently. And just tying up our last one now. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. This strip's pretty wide, so I'm actually just going to cut it in half one more time. It's just because of our V-neck neckline. It's a little bit different. Never be afraid to alter on the fly. Remember, this is your design and you can change it any way that you see fit. And if you make a mistake, just tie it together again. And now look at all those cute little bows we have going down the shoulders. Much better than an ugly seam. Let's go ahead and weave the arms. And when you get to the end, cut the strip in half and do the lobster claw technique. Cut the strip that you just cut in half the long way to make little lobster claws. Stretch them just a little and tie it right to that next rung on your ladder. And we'll do it once more for the other side. And there we go. I'm going to cut these extra tails off. And if you're looking for something really interesting to do with your sleeves, I also have a video on 6 different ways that you can alter your sleeves of a men's shirt so that they fit you better. And I'm doing 2 of those techniques right here. So now we're just going to weave this side too. Put the first one through the hole we made our bow in. Weave all the way down, and now we're going to do the lobster claw with this one. Nice double knot. And now this one. And then to cut off the extra tails. And now for my favorite part of the video. Let's go try it on. And now look how much better our shirt fits with a nice empire waist to bring it in. Yay, better fitting women's shirt. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Please smash that like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can get a new video by me every day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. I'm Tara Monster, and I like to make things. All without having to sew at all. Bye.